Now let's meet Bob James, young jazz composer and performer. Bob is a graduate of the School of Music at the University of Michigan and holds a master's degree in composition, that is. His trio was the winner of the Notre Dame Intercollegiate Jazz Festival in 1962. Bob, we've been listening to some Dixieland. Jazz has come a long way since then, hasn't it?
Yes, it's changed quite radically, I think. Our music, we try to keep the same spirit that Dixieland had and the same energy, but we try to keep pace with contemporary techniques in other forms of music.
But improvisation is still the heart of the matter.
Yes, definitely. We jazz musicians are quite proud of that, and we feel that in jazz we have the unique honor of being probably the only musicians that are really taking advantage of improvisation nowadays. And this is a form that I feel was really lost in the Baroque era and hasn't been replaced since, except with jazz.
But what about the future of jazz? What will the music in this provocative American folk idiom sound like 25 years from now?
Well, I think that after having witnessed the radical changes that have taken place in the 20th century, it would be quite impossible to really predict accurately what's going to happen in the future. But I think that we can be sure that composers and performers are going to have to find ways of eliminating the conventional rules and setting up their own new rules in order to make their sounds and their music original.
Now, does this new piece of yours that we're going to hear shortly illustrate some of these things?
Yes, we've done an awful lot of experimenting and trying to find new rules and new ways of approaching composition and improvisation in our music, and this piece utilizes most all of the most radical elements of this. We have various signals that we use, and the piece is organized in sections which don't necessarily come in order, but they are merely possibilities that we discover as the piece goes along.
Well, let's hear a bit of the future. The Internal Triangle by Bob James, performed by the Bob James Trio.
We were determined to find something that nobody had ever done before. And as a result of getting involved with some classical avant-garde composers in Ann Arbor, Gordon Muma, Bob Ashley, and Roger Reynolds, and a few others, we had been given the opportunity to play their music and learn a little bit about what motivated them. And I think they were all going through the same process, trying to find a creative voice, something that was different, something that people hadn't heard before. And I think that's great that we have that video, too, because if you listen back to that, to just the audio recording of that music, we probably wouldn't get much out of it at all. But seeing the process of what we were going through, that was definitely a part of it. Even the straight face aspect of it, the mock seriousness, was definitely part of it. You had the people that had the furrowed brow and their hands up to their foreheads and really emoting like crazy over this stuff. And you had the other people who felt closer to what we did, that when it's funny, and you could take it on any level.
Perhaps all we can say at this point is that serious music is music one is serious about.